advance their careers. And then after it's all said and done, here you come, years later, trying to take down the TV dad. A lot of black people don't have dads, so, you know, they looked up to Bill Cosby. And then you come, oh, he did this to me, but you got that gig.
And see, we had mentioned Bill Cosby.
We did.
We actually just mentioned him, and it was more like how a lot of people are coming out now. You have that one person who come out and accuse someone of sexual assault, and then you have a backlash of women after that. And I think it's because they don't want to take on such an iconic figure of either getting shamed or just knowing they won't win the case because nobody will believe them. So I think when maybe one woman sees someone speak out, they all get the courage to speak out as well. Like, okay, now the cat is out the bag. I can speak my piece. Do you think that's the case, or do you think...
That may be. I'm not trying to shame them. I'm not going to shame you if you tell up front. Now, if you tell later, I don't know if I'm going to believe you.
Yeah, everybody's different, though. Like me, like you said, if I was a girl, which, you know, it probably doesn't say much, but... You know, I would say something immediately about it, but that's easy to say. Like, you know, it's probably, I've never been in those shoes before.
So somebody could be like, you know what, they did tell me that day, 50 years ago.
Now,
it's
once I break down this story with Larry Nassar, there was a couple of situations where they told the authorities, but since he was such a high figure, no one listened, and they swept it under the rug.
Well, see, I ain't gonna blame the woman. She did the right thing.
Gotcha. So you think, I mean, from a woman's perspective, it's always important to say something immediately and not hold on to it.
Exactly. Like those women who said Jerry Richardson did this and that, but you didn't tell how he was putting a little money in the car, though. Now, I think that's why you didn't say it, because you was waiting for some more money. You let him fondle you. Because you was waiting to get your nails done.
But I mean...
That's how to look at it. You should have said it up front. And I'm going to believe you.
But
otherwise, I'm going to think you accepted some personal gain. You prostituted yourself out.
But Jerry was touching titties with seatbelts and stuff. Like, that's a whole different story.
Money to get the nails done, get the hair done. He was putting money in the car. That's what the reports say. I wasn't there.
I got you.
Okay.
I'm trying to believe that you taking something of personal gain and you pimping yourself out. If you don't tell, you pimping yourself out.
Okay. I got you.
I get you.
This story a little bit different. A little bit deeper.
Just
but
a tad bit.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And I just wanted to hear something from a female, for our female listeners, so it doesn't feel like we're trying to tell them what to do.
Exactly. Yeah, like I said, it's hard to...
I say tell as well.
I mean, it's easy to sit here and say it.
Then don't never tell. That's what I'm saying.
I got you.
Yeah, I just feel it's easy to sit here. It's probably totally different once you go through it and you gotta actually do it and follow through with it and go through all these reports and these rape kits and all that. It's just, I'm sure it's very, very hard. And I understand people.
Very intimidating.
Very, very much so. And, you know.
And I don't mean to sound so harsh, but I'm just saying, if you're not going to tell then, don't come around here 50 years later.
I understand.
Oh, you know what? I was an actress in this famous movie, but I did get raped a little bit. No. You took the role. You did it. You was on the red carpet. Don't come tell the lady you should have said something then. You have rights, you know.
Absolutely. Now, one last thing I want to ask.
If something happened to somebody out there, y'all can tell me. I ain't scared to say something. I'll say it.
Okay, so
that's what she told me.
So I'm gonna give out your phone number later on and have everyone reach out to you.
Give me my Instagram. It's private, so you know I'll have to screen you before I accept.
So she's the spokesman.
I'll just use your phone number. Yeah.
Okay.
Man, you are a golden nugget.
Oh, thank you.
Well, we're gonna let you go. I really appreciate this last minute interview. You got anything, Jay?
No, that was it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Goodbye.
And see, one thing I wanted to ask, and everybody, guys, that's once again, one of our top listeners, Brandy, a.k.a. Brittany. Awesome person. Always comedic. But I wanted to get that female point of view, man. Because we're men.
Yeah.
And we can't, give a point of view of what they should do from our perspective.
It's easy, yeah. I would say something, but it's easy sitting here being a man and saying that, So I've never been through it, and I can't imagine what it is to go through it.
Yeah, and it happens, in the workplace. Now, one good thing that came out of all this is the hashtag Me Too movement.
Yeah.
We have women speaking out of what exactly happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess what kind of contradicts it is what Brandy was just stating.
Yeah.
The hashtag Me Too is women speaking out after the fact that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I really think just by talking to females that have been through those situations, a lot of the reasons why they don't speak up is out of fear.
Exactly. Like, you got a lot of people who ain't gonna believe you, or gonna say what Brandy just said. Hey, why you talking now? Why you ain't say something sooner? Things like that. That could be intimidating. Very intimidating looking at.
Then on the domestic violence side, let's say that you spoke out against the abuser, and he gets upset and decides to beat you even worse.
Yeah, and then I don't know the guy's name, but he's like an Indian guy, the comedian.
Oh, yeah, I forgot his name.
That people are like, hey, was it just a bad date, or did he really rape you, or you just had a bad date? Like, people don't really know what to box,
Exactly.
to put it in, and everybody's putting everything under, the same umbrella. And it's a lot to process. And then, like you said, I can't imagine, going through it. But I understand, the hesitation.
Well, while we didn't pretty much broke down the gist of why women are and are not speaking out, let's get into the story of the day.
Okay.
I'm going to play a sound bite from one of the victims who was courageous enough to come out in court and explain what happened to the sick freak and how she is now fighting back. So we're going to play her soundbite, and then we're going to bring you guys the story of Larry Nassar.
From the time we were little, we are taught to trust doctors. You are so sick, I can't even comprehend how angry I feel when I think of you. You lied to me and manipulated me to think that when you treated me, you were closing your eyes because you had been working hard when you were really touching me, an innocent child, to pleasure yourself. Imagine feeling like you have no power and no voice. Well, you know what, Larry? I have both power and voice, and I am only beginning to just use them. I am here to face you, Larry, so you can see I've regained my strength, that I'm no longer a victim, I'm a survivor. I am no longer that little girl you met in Australia where you first began grooming and manipulating. As for your letter yesterday, you are pathetic to think that anyone would have any sympathy for you. You think this is hard for you? Imagine how all of us feel. Each new day seems to bring a new survivor. We have no idea just how much damage you caused, Larry, and we have no idea how deep these problems go. Now is the time to acknowledge that the very person who sits here before us now, who perpetrated the worst epidemic of sexual abuse in the history of sports, who is going to be locked up for a long, long time. This monster was also the architect of policies and procedures that are supposed to protect athletes from sexual abuse for both USA Gymnastics and the USOC.
There you have it. So, who is this Larry Nassar? Once again, guys, it's time to get into some straight-up journalism.
All right.
Jay, cut me off at any time. It's just going to be a lot of explanation of this sick freak and what's going on in USA Gymnastics and also Michigan State. Larry Nassar, a.k.a. Jerry Sandusky. Two peas in a freaking pod. So he began working with USA Gymnastics team as an athletic trainer in 1986. After earning his medical degree from Michigan State, he became chief medical coordinator for USA Gymnastics in 1996. He was also part of the faculty at Michigan State, where he had taught and practiced medicine since 1997, meaning, Josh, he wasn't just a famous physician from the Olympic side, but also within the school and academic portion as well. Now, in 2015, out of nowhere, he retired from USA Gymnastics. Now, he had planned on just stepping down and becoming like a medical coordinator. That was his original plan. And he was going to stay with the team for the 2016 Olympics. But that didn't pan out that way, unfortunately. So people, they were scratching their head trying to figure out why the hell would he this world-renowned doctor just step down? Yeah, just out of nowhere. Later, more than 100 women have accused this little sick bastard of sexual abuse. Now we need to know what exactly sparked all this. In 2016, the Indianapolis Star exposed the U.S. gymnastics system, stating that it had a systematic failure to protect young athletes from sexual abuse. Systematic issue. We hear that word a lot in colleges.
Yeah.
Usually they rain down on them damn colleges.
Exactly.
Unless you're North Carolina University.
Yeah, you got Jordan to pay.
Somehow they escape from systematic issues. But just like Penn State University, they had a failure to report allegations against coaches to the authorities. That caused more than a dozen women to finally bring forward allegations about Nassar. Now, at first, Jay, it was this article that had dropped. They was mostly focused on the coaches, not even Nassar.
Okay.
But a woman from Louisville named Rachel Den Hollander, reached out to the publication and informed them of a critical criminal complaint with the Michigan State Police. So now you have this complaint about him. Was it looked into? Probably not. Just like everybody in Hollywood. I'm sure there's all kind of damn criminal complaints that's being sent out against these freaking pervs. But nobody's really looking into it. Back to this fool. So in the claim, she claimed that Nassar had sexually abused her in 2000 when she was only 15. So now he's a predator of young kids. Now we know this for a fact. But this is when it gets a little sick. So she went in, Jay, seeking treatment from a lower back injury at his clinic at Michigan State University. She stated that Nassar, without gloves, penetrated her vagina and anus. In another visit, he unhooked her bra and massaged her bare breasts while he was on hard, a.k.a. visible erection. So far, before we even dive more into this, your thoughts on this sick piece?
He gotta die. That's just, like I said, I just don't understand why people feel like that it's okay for them to do things like that. And then, what did you say, like 150 women he's done this to?
Yes, it's been a total of 150 that came forward.
Yeah, I just don't understand. I can't get in the mind of him because I just don't, I can't get that perverted.
Now, I know in court, this fool, while he was
he was like,
sentences,
this is too much for me mentally to sit and shut your ass up.
Then he was like, I'm really a good guy, and no, you're a
lucky,
piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. You're lucky you in the courtroom, dog, to be honest.
Yeah, where are the parents? Like,
yeah, that's another. Yeah,
man,
the parents, like you got to be able to talk to your kids and believe your kids about certain things. Because you said some of the parents didn't believe the kids, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now, there was a report, I saw Jamel Hill report this in The Undefeated, that one of the fathers of one of the victims didn't believe his child. And then when all these reports came out, he was so struck by it that he killed himself.
No, yeah.
And so you shouldn't have to come to that part.
No.
Because the day my child comes